Well, they say the third time's a charm, so I guess so. Took me 3 times to get this one up and going today. Hopefully all of you guys got the notice because I'm not sure what's going on. But anyway, I thought I'd stop by a few minutes and try to catch some of you. I've had a lot of emails and questions coming in wondering where we've been, why the videos have been a little inconsistent, and why the vlogs are missing. Because if you're following over on the vlog channel, then you know it's been almost 2 weeks since we posted a vlog. That's right, Thursday will be 2 weeks since the last vlog went up. So, thought that I'd take just a minute to catch you guys up. So I'll give some of you a minute to get here. Hello, Roberto is here. How are you, Robert? I say that so much. People think your name is actually Roberto. It's really not. It is Sir Robert. How are you? Thank you for missing the videos, Robert. I've been missing doing them. That's for sure. There is Stephanie. Hello. How are you? And Ashley. Ashley, I got your message on Instagram yesterday. Thank you very much for thinking of me. You guys can probably hear the raspiness in the voice and already know probably why we have been missing. There is Doris. Hello to you as well. Robert's doing good. Well, that is good news. Miss Volunteers fan, Julie is here. How are you? And Megan is here. Oh, well, thank you so much, Megan. I appreciate hearing that. And here we are again. Thought I may have brought my glasses, but I didn't. So I may have to squint more than usual because my eyes have been a little buggy too. I have been very, very sick. You guys can probably hear in my voice. Still a little weary. Did a couple voiceover videos for you guys. Let's see. One was the nail art video and the other was... Can't remember now which other one I did a voiceover for because my days are all running together being so sick. At any rate, you guys could probably tell because when I listened back to those, I said, oh, that voice is a little rough, but have no clue all of what's been going on. All I can tell you is they have me on an antibiotic. I did have another touch of a slight kidney infection and something going on with my lungs. So they have a CAT scan ordered and hopefully, or a CT scan. I think those are a little different, aren't they? Any of you who know the difference between all those, let me know. Anyway, that is on order. So hopefully we'll be figuring out very soon what's still going on. A lot of you guys will probably remember that last summer I was having issues with my lungs as well. And they did a scan and they found some, I think he used the word lesions, not exactly sure, but there was something going on in the upper portion of my lungs. And he wanted to check them in 6 months, but you guys know how expensive all that is. So I didn't go back at the 6-month mark simply because of money, because even when you have insurance, you got all that out of pocket. So I didn't go back, and it's been right at about a year. So they're wanting to go ahead and check that to see if this is just all related. But I'm having a feeling it's mostly just the bug because the Hubs has it. We just walked in the door from taking him to the little emergency clinic because now he's come down with it. I guess his started Sunday night because I was at the doctor for the 2nd time on Sunday. I had gone back to see her because antibiotics weren't working and I was getting just worse. So that was on Sunday. He started to come down with a little touch of something, and by today he's like, I've got to go ahead and go. He's been running a fever of like 102. Mine got up to about 101. I don't think mine ever quite reached 102, but his was. So anyway, we just left from there. They did some chest x-rays on him, and they think his is just a real severe bronchitis. So that's where we've been, you guys. We have been sick around here. Fortunately, neither of the kids have it, but baby girl's not feeling so well today, so we're keeping an eye on her, hoping they don't come down with it. They're supposed to leave this coming Sunday. They're going to be gone for 4 weeks. I think I've told all of you guys over on the vlog channel. If you guys don't watch the vlog channel, then you miss a lot of information. But I think I told you guys over there, they're supposed to be volunteering at their summer camp this year for 4 weeks. For 4 weeks, they'll leave on Sunday afternoon, and then they come home on Friday afternoon to get clothes washed up on Saturday, to head out again. So they're going to be doing that for 4 weeks, working hard. It's a lot of hard work whenever they actually work the camp. They're not going as campers, they're working. And so we're keeping an eye because they're very excited to get to do that this year. It's a great opportunity for them, and we certainly don't want them sick. So hopefully whatever the hubs and I've got, they won't get. So far so good. But all right, let's see what I missed here. Yeah, Julie, I noticed that you haven't uploaded any videos either. I've been wondering what's happening. On the moments that I could actually sit up, I've caught up on a few of your videos, but most of the time has just been sleeping. I gotta be honest with you. I have slept and slept and slept some more. It's really the best thing I guess you can do when you don't feel good anyway. But the few times that I did get up to try to at least be a little productive, yeah, nah, I last even just now sitting here, so I may not last the full hour with you guys today. Sitting up usually is okay, but when I get to talking like this, obviously you guys can probably tell that my breathing gets a little more labored, so I think it's still just too soon to be trying too much. But I wanted to let you guys know what's going on because I've gotten the emails, I've gotten the Instagram messages, I've gotten the Facebook messages, and I've gotten comments on some videos that you guys have been wondering if we're okay. So yeah, we're still alive, but haven't been okay. That's for sure. All right, so let's see where I left off here. Hey Carrie, how are you? Well, thank you. I've missed all of you guys too. I really have. I've missed all that interaction in the comments every day. That is for sure. Thank you, Robert. I sure will tell him you said that, and I hope they find out too. That's oh, it's been a little rough. All right, let's see here what Julie is saying. Her son's having heart trouble. Okay, so that's good news, right? If it is that it's off of the rhythm and they can do something to work with that, so that's good news. He's been in our prayers. For those of you that don't know, you guys can read over on the sidebar. Not sure which side on your screen that is. Julie's comments. She's Volunteers Fan 11, and we have been keeping her son in prayers because he's been having some issues with his heart. Oh, okay, June. I sure will have to check into that. I have heard of the doTERRA. As a matter of fact, a good friend of mine used to sell it. I'm not real sure if she still does or if she doesn't, but I'll have to ask her about that. And if she does, I'll have to mention that on guard. Thank you. Oh no, Julie's having car troubles on top of everything else. Girl, I can feel you. It feels like when it rains, it pours, doesn't it? Oh, wow. That's how we have felt this week. I've been to the doctor twice, and my husband went once today. Then with the medications on top of all that, probably in the last week alone, we've laid out over $150 just on those medical expenses. That's not counting the x-ray he had today and the CT scan that they have ordered for me. So it adds up in a hurry, you guys. It really does. Well, thank you, Angela. Starting to feel a little better. At least I can get up and communicate some now, but thank you, Susan. I appreciate those prayers. And I have missed all of you guys too. My word. You guys know, if you've been following this channel for a while, that YouTube is a huge part of my life. I mean, it absolutely consumes almost every waking minute. And to not have done much on it at all for the last couple weeks, it has been really strange. Like, even though you're sick and you don't feel good and all you're wanting to do is rest, it's still that thought on the back of your mind, like, I should be doing something. You know what I mean? It's been really, really strange. Well, hello, Miss Trish. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Good to have you on the live. Yeah, Julie, I know. Sometimes life comes at you from all different angles, and it gets overwhelming in a hurry. Yes, it does. So I can totally understand you. Hello, Jackie. How are you? Well, thank you for those prayers, and much love to you too. We love all of you guys. I definitely have been missing you. That's for sure. It feels really funny the few times that I have actually clicked onto the computer. I've had my phone by my side, you know, and you kind of check it periodically just to make sure there's nothing urgent or pressing that you need to take care of. And it has felt so weird not having a barrage of notifications from you guys. It's been weird. Those of you who do videos, you know what I'm talking about, because it's like that is your lifeline. Your mode of communication with everybody is whenever there are videos for them to actually come and comment on. And so there hasn't been many of those. I'm trying to even remember. It seems like I don't even know if the holler haul over on the Deals channel might have still even been, obviously it was before we got really sick, but I think it was even before the vlogs. We weren't able to do the vlogs. I'm not real sure. It's just been, we have just been MIA everywhere. That's for sure. Except the few videos that I knew that I could just voice over, you know, and you'd have to take a few minutes breath in between, but you could get it out finally because it was just talking to a microphone. So I have been able to do just a couple of those for you guys, but I didn't even get my planner done this week, y'all. Haven't even been feeling good enough to sit there. And matter of fact, the last thing that I was working on, thank you, Michelle. I sure appreciate that. The last thing that I was working on, okay, Julie, it was good to see you for a few minutes, and I hope everything calms down for you guys as well. We'll keep you in our prayers. Anyway, I was sitting in my office on a Tuesday night. It was on a Tuesday night a couple weeks ago, and was working on some stuff in there, and I just started not feeling good. I mean, you know how that goes. Went into the living room, and I asked the kids, hey, Mommy, a blanket. And so I covered up, and I was so cold. And they were not cold at all, because it was not cold in this house. A few minutes later, I was up underneath 3 blankets, still having chills, you guys. And I knew right then, okay, something's not right. Something's going on. And by the next morning, I was very sick. Couldn't stay out of the bathroom for a while, sick. So yeah, it just kind of, it almost felt like it rolled in out of nowhere. You know what I mean? And then the same way with my husband too. Even though I had been sick for a while, we thought mine was more just related to the kidney infection. But apparently it was like just everything. Either the bronchitis that he's got as well, or severe flu or whatever. And we passed it to each other. You know, some things in marriage you really ought not share. And this is one of them. So anyway, he has missed work the last 2 days. We didn't even go to church on Sunday, you guys, because it was that bad. So, oh, word. Yeah, it's been a little bit of an experience around here. Finally got out of the house today. I did go to the doctor, but you know, you go straight to the doctor and straight home. Got out today for a few minutes to take him to the doctor, and had to run in the store to get his prescription. And so that's the first time that I've actually been amongst the living in forever. It almost felt weird to walk in the store, that's for sure. Well, hello, Night Fear. How are you? Glad you have been able to join us here on the live. So you guys tell me, what's been happening with all y'all? That's enough about me for the last 2 weeks. What's been happening with you guys? Because we have been completely out of touch with all of you. What you been up to? What you been doing? I'm sure by now summer must have started for all of you that still have young children anyway. Some of you I know are grandparents, so it kind of really doesn't affect you the same. But for those of you that still have kids in school, I'm assuming most of you have probably started summer break by now. Bub has been out since he finished his schoolwork since before we went to Fine Arts. You guys remember that over on the vlog channel. We took you with us. He's been out of school since before that, so that was April. So he's been out for about a month and a half, 2 months now. He's been done. So his summer started a little early, but he's got to start his senior year. Can you guys believe it? He will be a senior. He's got to start early this year because you guys know he plays soccer with our local high school. And so that monopolizes a lot of his time during soccer season. And his work has to be done and sent into our homeschooling academy before the 1st of April. So he's got to be all done, so that way he can go over and have a full graduation, get his diploma and all that. So he's going to be working really hard this year. It's going to be a busy full year for him. So he started his summer early so that we can start the school year early. Retina, congratulations. She's having a baby. Oh, that is very exciting. Congratulations to you. I know you are excited about that. How fun. Raynell, it is hot in New York City. I have seen a couple of people post on Facebook about those hot temperatures all of you guys are having up there. Our temperatures have been pretty mild here, believe it or not, because it has been raining almost every day. And hopefully, if I can stay feeling this good today, then hopefully I can start the vlogs back tomorrow. And if so, I'll have to show you guys how green and pretty everything is, because I think on the last few vlogs, we had just started getting the rain and things were just starting to turn green again, but now everything is green and so pretty. But yeah, almost every day, it's like a normal Florida summer. It's been nice having all that rain because we were so very dry, but it has kept our temperatures a lot more moderate because whenever those clouds roll in, it kind of hinders that sunshine. So it hasn't been too bad. Oh my word, Ann, 8 weeks you were sick? Wow, well, I am sure glad you're better. I hope this stuff doesn't linger for another 6 weeks because it's been 2 for me. Right at 2. Well, no, since it got really severe, today marks 1 week since it's been very severe. But I wasn't feeling myself before that, so it's probably been a couple of weeks for me now, and I sure hope it doesn't last 6 more. That is rough. Thank you, Ashley. I appreciate those prayers. There is Miss Linda. How are you? Oh, your daughter doesn't get out till June 28th. Okay. That is a little bit later than what I'm used to, but I know some of you guys, your school districts actually go year round. You take longer breaks, like you get some time during the summer and then you get some time in the fall. And I know that up in Tennessee, parts of Tennessee, they do that same thing. So it's like their school year is really all year long. They don't get a big summer break like we do down here. But it's always hard for me to get used to that because I'm just not used to that. Your rainbow baby, a baby of promise, huh? That's very cool. Oh my goodness, Trish, you were sick last week too? It must just be the season. Oh man, well, I'm glad you're up and feeling better. Hello, Brenda. Well, welcome to the family. We are glad to have you as part of our designers around here. Hey, Nessa, how are you? I've been missing all of you guys too. I really have. Oh my word, she had the stomach flu, tonsillitis, strep throat, and an ear infection. Wow. No wonder you were sick for so long. That is unbelievable. Well, I am glad you are feeling better. Susan, where are you at that you need some rain? I can't remember where some of you are. I'm so sorry. Mary is here. Hello, Mary. Yeah, I think most of our state has finally gotten some pretty good rain. You know what, though? I need to ask the hubs. I don't know for sure yet if we're out of the woods as far as the fires are concerned, though, because you guys know we were up underneath that burn ban. Some lady here in our county completely ignored that burn ban and was burning off some boxes and sparked a fire like 10 acres, I think. That was not good. And then not too far from us, really, pretty close to our side of the county, a really big fire broke out. And I want to say there was like 100 acres involved in that one. That was just a couple weeks ago, right before the rain started coming. So we have been so grateful to have that rain watering everything down. And I'm not even sure, to tell you the truth, guys, I don't even remember if I have vlogged since I took that bad tumble. Have I even vlogged since then? I don't even remember. Some of you may not even know that I took a bad fall and hit my back really bad on the front porch here. You guys have seen our porch a million times, and you guys also know we have those big concrete or ceramic, whatever, I think they're concrete, those big urns that you guys have seen that I planted the petunias in, and those pretty little palm trees. They are huge, and I was just so grateful that I fell the other direction and didn't hit those, because I hit my head really hard, knocked out spindle on the porch rail. I loosened the whole rail and everything. It was a bad fall and really, really got my back. I mean, for like 3 days, I couldn't hardly move. It seems like I have vlogged since then. I can't remember for sure. My days are all running together. You know how it is when you get sick and you're just doing nothing but sleeping. Can you guys hear my sinuses today? Because this antibiotic I must have had a slight touch of a sinus infection too, because it has like loosened all that up, and I've been in a little bit of a fog. Matter of fact, my kids told me Saturday, they said, "Mom, you are acting and talking so weird. You act drunk." I said, "Well, I've never been drunk, so I don't know what that feels like, but yeah, I'm definitely out of it." So you get all cloudy everywhere, you guys. So my days are running together. So if I am repeating a story, just forgive me, because I have no clue where all of us left off a couple weeks ago. I have no idea what was even happening in life the last time we were able to vlog. Oh, word. Bye, Trish. Glad you could join us for a little while. Thanks so much for joining, and glad you're feeling better too. Wow. 97 degrees in New York City. You guys haven't had some rain either. Oh, good. Okay, so Mary might be getting some rain. She's hearing some thunder there. Brenda is over in Texas, and you guys have been having a lot of rain. I haven't even watched the news, so I didn't know that. Oh, that's right. Okay, Susan, I remember now. You are in Missouri. I remember now, because we had that conversation about the school up there, right? Wasn't that with you? I think so, on one of the lives before. Okay, so Retina, is that how you say that name? She is in the Bronx. And that's also where Frances, I believe Frances that usually joins us, her channel is Blessedly Made. I think she's in the Bronx too, if I'm not mistaken. A cardinal, a blue jay, and a baby hawk. That is awesome. Our bird feeder has run out of food in the last 2 weeks. So our poor little birds haven't had food in a few days. I've been miss watching those birds. Marissa is here. Hello, Marissa. Well, thank you, Nessa. I appreciate those prayers. There is Celine. How are you? Oh, good. Well, I'm glad that none of y'all have been sick, because that is a blessing to feel good and healthy. That is for sure. Cannot wait till I can feel good again. Oh, Mary, I'm sorry. That stuffiness and that cloudiness in the head thing, oh yeah, that's not a good thing, for sure. Mary is in Chicago. I've never been to Chicago. I want to go there one of these days. Oh, so Oregon is still having a lot of rain. Y'all haven't really started your summer season yet, huh? Well, I hope that starts for you pretty soon. Let's see here what Mary said. She threw some Pop-Tarts out there. And you know, I bet they would like the Pop-Tarts. I like Pop-Tarts. Those of you that saw our Ollie's haul over on DeeVine Deals, know we got a great deal on some Pop-Tarts a few weeks ago. How long? That must have been right around the time I was starting to get sick, because I remember the day we were in Ollie's, I wasn't really feeling that well. I wasn't feeling good. We did, matter of fact, come to think of it, that might be the last vlog we did. It seems like that might be the last vlog, was the day that we went to Ollie's, the new Ollie's that opened up in town. So we haven't gotten to go back there yet, but I am ready to get back there, see what other good deals they may have on that food. We found some great deals. Groundhogs like Pop-Tarts too? I did not know that. I sure did not know that, but I know a great deal, many things around here like those Pop-Tarts. The raccoons love them. Of course, raccoons love anything. Just about anything you give a raccoon, they're going to be happy with. Well, there is Amy. Hello, Amy. How are you? I am glad you've been able to join us here on live. Ooh, your husband got food poisoning? Oh my goodness, that is not good. When I first got sick on that Wednesday, I wondered if that's what I might have, only because it's kind of like the same symptoms that came on all of a sudden. And because I was having vomiting and going to the bathroom, I thought, okay, this is probably a little bit more than just the flu. But it actually wasn't. It was just some weird bug that's going around here, I suppose. But I can feel for your hubby. Can you believe this? There was one time we went to dinner. The kids were small. Kristen was probably, I don't know, maybe about 4. Bub was about 2, somewhere in there. He was the only one that didn't get sick. 3 out of the 4 of us were sick, deathly sick, from food poisoning at a Hops restaurant. I don't know how many of you have ever eaten at Hops. I actually loved Hops. All the ones around us, though, have closed up. So you guys let me know. Do they still have Hops in other parts of the country? H-O-P-S, Hops. It was a steakhouse, a steak, like a bar and grill kind of steakhouse. Loved it there. Loved their bread. They served like the little croissant rolls that you roll up, kind of like a crescent roll, but they called them croissants. And they mixed over this awesome honey sauce over the top of them. So good. They were so good. Well, we went there to eat one night, and when we walked in the restaurant, at Hops, they have this big glass wall where you can look in and actually see them like cutting the steaks, cooking the steaks, and all that kind of stuff. You can see right into the kitchen. Always so fascinating. So we would sit there and watch. While we were out there waiting to be seated, we noticed that there was a lot of playfulness going on in that kitchen. Apparently, must have been that one of the cooks had a crush on one of the waitresses, or vice versa. They were playing around with each other, and they were taking the utensils, like the knives and the tongs, like they flip the steaks with, and they were hitting each other with them, and he was tapping her on the behind and just, really flirting around, playing around. And I remembered saying to my husband, that's not good that they're doing that with all those utensils, because I can guarantee you they're not washing them before they're going to use them on the next person's meal. So that just really stood out to me. And do you know that by the time we got home that night after we had eaten, 3 of us were deathly ill. I mean, it was so bad. And what made it bad is because poor little Kristen was sick too, and both of us were sick. So like 3 of us were all having the same issues at the same time. And it was so hard to help her and be sick. And here little Bub was, he was just running all around the living room, happy as could be. So we tracked it down to like, okay, what did we all eat the same? Because the kids didn't eat steak back then. They just ate like the little chicken tenders. So they both had chicken. She was sick and he wasn't. Steve and I both had a steak. And we were both sick, but so was she, and she didn't have steak. So then we thought, okay, what else did we all have the same? Steve and I and Kristen, all 3 had a baked potato. Bub had French fries. Was the only thing different between all of our meals. So what we're thinking is that they must have cut those potatoes open after they baked with a tainted knife. So either they used a knife that they had cut raw meat with and it had just gotten tainted sitting out, or some of that dirty playfulness got those utensils dirty or whatever. So for the longest time after that, when we would go to a restaurant, I would always order a baked potato uncut. And I would cut it myself when it got to the table with my own utensils and put my own butter and sour cream and all that on it. I wouldn't let anybody cut my potatoes for a really, really long time. Probably only within about the last 1.5 to 2 years have I let them start cutting my potatoes again, because I did not want to get, but that had to be what it was, because that was the only thing that all 3 of us ate the same. So I'm sure somebody picked up a dirty or bloodied knife or something like that, cut those potatoes open, and yeah, that was bad news. But since then, Hops has gone out of business around us. Hopefully you guys still have them, because they have delicious steaks. Like, I loved to eat at Hops. I absolutely loved it. Okay, so Spot on Your Life just ate Pop-Tarts. Here we were talking about Pop-Tarts, and that's what she had. Do skunks eat Pop-Tarts? Maybe they do. Oh, you like the nails? Well, thank you very much. I just did a tutorial on these. They look a little blurry. It might just be my eyes. I just did a tutorial on these that went up yesterday. Show you where you can order that chrome powder and how you can get those chrome nails. I like the chrome. Hopefully I'm going to be able to get back into doing nail art tutorials for you guys again. That's how this channel started so many years ago. Those of you that have been with me from the beginning know I started the channel with nail art and had kept that going very consistently. There's a couple playlists on there where you guys can go back and look at those if you want to. But with all the housework we were doing, all the reconstruction, my nails got in such bad shape. So it's been 5 weeks ago now. The hubs took the day off work and he surprised me with a trip up to the salon, and he got me a pedicure and a manicure. I had no idea we were going to do it. It was very, very fun. And so I got my nails done and have kept them on since then. So now, hopefully, until my own nails have grown a lot. I don't know. Is that showing you guys? Can you see right up under there? I think you guys can see. You should be able to see where the natural nails are coming up. So that the pinky right there, that one's pretty long. Look at that one right there. So the natural nails are getting pretty long again, and then I'll be able to stop the acrylic. But until they get longer, I wanted to keep that acrylic on there so that I could start doing the nail art tutorials maybe every 2 weeks. Not sure that I'll do it every week, because gel polish, you guys know if you do gel polish, it's hard to get it off. It's a process. So I usually keep it on the full 2 weeks. We'll just see. We'll play it by ear and we'll see. But yeah, I did this one on there. So if you guys like the chrome look, you guys will be able to see that and see. It's super, super easy to do. All you got to do is have that chrome powder. And a no wipe gel top coat though. That's very important. You do need that. So if you don't have an LED or UV lamp, then I suggest that you might want to get one. I use the Sensational one. I love it. I'm no longer an ambassador for them. I used to be, but I used Sensational before I became an ambassador. That's how they found me, because they kept seeing all my posts. And I still use it, and I haven't been an ambassador now for probably about 1.5 years. So I love the system, love the light, perfect gel system. And you can pick it up at Walmart, Walgreens, sometimes CVS has them, and I've even seen them in Target. So and you can get it on Amazon. Amazon also has it, but if you're looking for a little LED light, it's a good one to have for sure. He got it from the salad at Sonny's? Ooh, really? I've never gotten sick from Sonny's, but I have been to Sonny's a few times when the kids were little, that their little grilled chicken fingers came raw. We've had to send the chicken back a couple of times at Sonny's to have them finish cooking it. Oh, Ashley got food poisoning from McDonald's chicken nuggets. Oh, I don't blame you. It's like once you get sick on a food, you don't ever want to eat it again. It's up here, but yeah. Oh, Ashley, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, that's rough stuff. Oh, y'all lost me? Well, there is Sheena. Hello, Pierce, Georgia Mama. How are you? Uh-oh. So did y'all all lose me? I see where a couple of you guys are saying you lost me. I'm not sure if I'm back or not. Hopefully I am. If I'm back, you guys give me a thumbs up there so I can see the thumbs ups that you got me. All right, here is Nancy. Hello, Nancy. Oh, well, thank you so very much. I have been very, very sick, yes, and I'm on the upswing, still not feeling real great, but I was feeling good enough that I thought I could probably sit here and talk to you guys for a little bit. It's a little easier to breathe today. Well, thank you, Sheena. I have been missing all of you guys as well. Jessica is here. Hello, Jessica. Nice to have you. Spot on your life. Yes, absolutely been sick around here, but feel a little better. So thanks for those prayers. I sure appreciate it. Ooh, Nessa, he got that from the eggs. Ooh, you got to be so careful with eggs. And at restaurants, eggs do make me a little nervous, especially when they're sitting out on those salad bars all day. Oh, goodness. Well, I hope he's all better. I hope he's feeling better. Mary, you're absolutely right. It's never too late, even for a couple of minutes. That's good. Okay, so a couple of you got me back. There's Jan's Crazy Life. A couple of you lost me for a minute, but I see all the thumbs ups. All right, so you guys got me back. It's probably our weather, you guys, because it's raining here again, dark and dreary. Yeah, Sunny's has changed, Jessica. You're right. Sunny's has changed. Not only have they changed the menu, like, I mean, a legit change, but they have just changed. Like, their service, the quality of their food, they even changed the barbecue sauce. Now, what's up with that? Like, Sunny's barbecue sauce is what made Sunny's Sunny's. And you can't even get the original regular barbecue sauce anymore when you go, at least not the ones around us. And we've been to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. We've been to 4 different ones around us in 4 different cities, but in our driving vicinity, and you cannot get that barbecue sauce anymore. That made me sad, because that was like their calling card was that sauce. Oh, good, Nessa. I'm glad that he is better. That is rough stuff. Oh, okay, so you guys have been getting a good bit of rain in Valdosta. I wasn't sure how far up north that this rain was reaching. Why did they close it, Nessa? Did they just go out of business, or did they have more food poisoning in that store too? Oh, well, thank you, Spot on Your Life. I do not feel amazing today. Oh, my word. I threw my hair up because we ran to that little emergency clinic today with the hub. So I got up and got dressed and cleaned off my face and all that. Just threw my hair up, and it says, well, come on, let's just run on up there. And as soon as we walked in the door, I went live with you guys. So yeah, I'm not feeling amazing, but thank you. That's a nice thing to say. Uh-oh, bad service will get you closed every time. That's for sure. And a lot of places now, you guys, have such rude service. Wow, it's like people everywhere you go are so angry, and they take it out on the customers who are in there. I liked it the other day when we went into Ollie's. If you watched that vlog, you saw we went there, and up on the big wall, they have like the rules for shopping at Ollie's. And rule number 1 was that the customer is always right. And then I forget what rule number 2 was, but then when you got to rule number 3, it said, remember rule number 1. No, wait. No, rule number 1 was all about the customer being right. Rule number 3 said something about when you encounter a rude customer, always refer back to rule number 1. So I thought it was cute the way they had that written out, but so many places don't play by those rules anymore. And it is just, wow, it's just so frustrating when you try to go shopping or out to eat or wherever you are, and the cashiers or waitresses are so rude. Yeah. Well, if they think that it's a bad touch of bronchitis, Sheena, that's what they're treating him for. They did a nebulizer treatment in the emergency clinic today, and they sent him home with a breathing. It's not actually a nebulizer that he came home with. It's kind of like, I think it's like the spray, sort of what you use when you have asthma. I don't really know what that's called. And an antibiotic. So they're treating him for bronchitis, but because of the symptoms he had with not being able to breathe, they did checks, x-rays too, and an EKG just to check his heart to make sure that it is just this flu bug that we've had going around and not something more severe. So I guess it'll take them 24 hours to read the results of those scans, and then they'll let us know for sure. But yeah, so that's what's happening with him. His came on Sunday, and we thought it was just probably this little flu bug or whatever bug I've had, whatever kind of bug has been here. It was not invited, and we're trying to kick it out. Let's see here. Well, now, you know what, Jessica? I have not thought of that, but I need to check at Sam's, because maybe it is possible that some of what they still have is that old recipe before Sunny's changed it. That's a great idea. Thanks for telling me that. I'll have to check into that. All right, Mary, we'll wait for you. We'll be here for a few more minutes. I love you too, Nessa, and I hope all is well around there. Yeah, and I think that you're right, Linda. I think you've hit on a key thing there, because a lot of them are young who are displaying those bad attitudes and stuff. And I know that a lot of young people go through a lot of junk, you know, with family issues at home and just the stresses of just being young and coming into your teen years and your adult years. And some of them don't always handle it right. They don't know how to handle it right. And a lot of them don't have help handling it correctly. And so they do take it out on everyone around them. And I have found that there's a lot of times that whenever they're being that way with me, if you joke around back with them, or a lot of times I'll say, man, you seem like you've had a pretty rough day. You had a rough day. They'll kind of start to soften up because they don't even realize that they're taking out their aggression on innocent people who don't deserve it. You know what I mean? And it would do all of us well to remember that too. It's not always easy. I gotta tell you, not always easy, because whenever they're being smart alecks and they're being rude, that's not always the first response. All right, let's see here. Julie is here. How are you? How are you? Yeah, an inhaler. That, I guess that is what you call it. Yeah, so they sent him home with one of those. First time he's ever had one that I know of. And I don't think I have ever had one of those. He sat on that nebulizer machine, oh my, at least a good 15 minutes, if not a little bit longer. They did like a full round of treatment even before they let him go, just because he was having so much trouble breathing. Yes, that is true, Linda. Hello, Sharon. How are you? Doing a little better. See, I don't know if y'all can hear. Can y'all hear him coughing even now? But it's a dry cough. Like, that's what he was trying to tell the doctor. Like, he can't get anything up. It's one of those, like, when you have, almost when you have pneumonia. Because I did have pneumonia a few years ago. You guys all know that. You remember that. And it's like, you've got to cough, but nothing will move in there, which I think is why they've given him this inhaler, to try to break up whatever might be just sitting down in there before it turns to something real severe like pneumonia. So I'm hoping that'll kick in. They've told him to stay out of work for the next couple days. He didn't go to work yesterday or today because he was just so bad. And they told him maybe Friday he'll be able to make it back if he's feeling better by then. So it's just a waiting game now to see. All right, Spot on your live. Have fun with that grandbaby, and thank you for joining us today. Many blessings to you. Oh, I have been there, Julie. I have had those times too where you cough so much you're just sore everywhere. Yeah, I think that's actually what happened to me earlier in the week. Let's see, what's today? Tuesday, so I guess it was the end of last week. I was hurting all these muscles up in here. And the only thing that we could figure, the kids kept saying, Mom, it must have been like all that whenever you have that vomiting, and it just like every muscle is like involved in that. Had to be what it was, because then it would hurt to laugh. Poor Bub, he had one of his friends over, well, a couple of friends, a couple of different nights. They wanted to come over and watch. There was a soccer game on one night, and then the NBA championship games were on. And I'm like, yeah, they can come. I'm just going to sit here and sleep on the couch, but they're welcome to come if they want to. And so, you know your family if you come here and I just sleep on the couch while you're here. So they came, and they would say a few things that were funny, because those guys, when they all get together, they are hilarious. They keep me rolling, and it would hurt like all up in here, even just to try to laugh. Or if I would try to sit up off of the couch, just, you know, the motion of moving, whoa, every muscle I had was sore. So I can certainly understand that, Julie. All right, let's see. Who was that just signed on? Does that say, I don't have my glasses. I think that says, is that Shiroa? Is that what that says? Nice to have you. Sharon, did I get the package that you sent? I have gotten a package that came in. Let's see. The last one that I showed a pocket letter one day during the week. That was the other one that I was able to voice over, couldn't remember. And then I got another one this week. And Sharon, I gotta be honest with you, I can't remember the two names. I I feel so bad. I cannot remember the two names that are on there. The second one, I haven't actually been able to open and film yet because I just was feeling too bad. So if on my playlist, it should say pocket letter mail, and then there's a name to the side of it. And I am so sorry. I have been so out of it. I can't even remember which one it was that I was able to record what that name was. I feel so bad about that. And then the second one that I have, like I said, I haven't even had a chance to open it yet and take a look at it, but I can tell that's what it is. So, and I don't remember who that one's from, so my apologies, you guys. Matter of fact, that's what I was working on the last night that I was actually able to sit up and feel good. I was working on a pocket letter for someone that I was going to send off, and it is still on my desk. I got sick after that, and matter of fact, it is sitting there with about 8 thank you cards from other people who have been sending me stuff, because you guys send me stuff all the time. You are so gracious and nice to me. And so I had finally gotten all the thank you cards caught up to that point, and was working on that pocket letter whenever this thing just rolled over me. So yeah, it's, if you were to go in my office right now, you would see all that still just sitting there. Oh, word. I haven't even, matter of fact, I'm trying to remember. I don't even think that I've actually sat down at the chair in my office since that night. So it's been a couple weeks. Well, about 10 days maybe. I don't even remember. I'm trying to remember. My days have all run together. All right, let's see here where I left off. Your real name is Ree. Okay, I'm going to try my best to remember that. That must be what I did, Jessica. I had to have, because it was so sore. So sore. Well, thank you for understanding, Sharon. I tell you, I feel so bad. I can't even remember the names on those gifts that came. Hi, Arlene. How are you? Starting to feel a little better. It's been a slow process. This is one that's just, man, it kicked my behind, you guys. And every time I thought I was going to start feeling better, it just would get me again. I tell baby girl, mom's got to go lay down. I just cannot stand up here. So thank the good Lord for these kiddos, because they've really pinched in for us. They've been taking good care of us and keeping the meals cooked and keeping the house clean. As a matter of fact, those couple nights that Bub had his friends over, baby girl did all the cooking for them, and she baked them some brownies, and I'm trying to remember if she cooked them another dessert. I can't even remember now, but I know she made those brownies the one night. That was so good. And cooking and cleaning after them. She ran them up to the store, and just, she was so busy. She said, Mom, I'm worn out. And I said, welcome to motherhood, because that's exactly what it's like whenever you're a mom and you're doing all these things for the kiddos. So she has really pitched in, and Bub too, trying to help out around here as much as they could. Well, thank you, Susan. It was good to see you. You have a great afternoon. There is Kathy. How are you, Kathy? Your mom's back in the hospital? Oh, no. A relapse with the cancer. Yes, we will definitely be praying for her. I haven't been catching up on hardly any of the videos. I've caught up on some, but of course I follow so many of you guys that I'm trying to work my way through, and I haven't seen an update of yours, Kathy, so I didn't realize that was happening. Yes, she really does, Nancy. She is a good girl. Our kids are just such true blessings. I can't even begin to tell you. All right, now there is Cheryl. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate those kind thoughts. Yeah, we'll be praying for Kathy's mom. I hate to hear that, Kathy. I know that is not fun, especially just the not knowing, now the waiting. I guess they're doing testing, so have they give you any indication when they'll know? That's a very scary thing. Very scary thing. All right, let's see here. I think our rain is starting to slow down a little bit out there. Sounds like it. Bub's off today. He's having one last supper, they called it, with the guys. One of the guys said, we got to have one last supper with you because he's going to be gone, you know, for those 4 weeks. Well, he'll be home on Saturdays, Friday night, Saturday. But I'm having a feeling they're going to be so worn out from the week that they probably won't do much on Saturdays for the next 4 weeks. So they're out tonight having one last meal together before he goes off for his summer job. They're at the camp, so hopefully it's not raining on them because they were going to play soccer first and then go eat. So we'll see how that works out. Oh, I see. So are they insisting on the chemo even before they know the results, Kathy? They must be pretty confident then that that's what it is. 86 years old. Wow. Yeah, that would be pretty rough to have to go through chemo at that age. You know what, Sheena, we do not have one of those, but that would be something to try to borrow for him because I hadn't even thought of that. You're right. That would be something good to have. Cheryl, was it like a big storm that came through? We haven't had any like major storms, like really severe storms like we can have here at times. It's just been a constant rain. But my roses, you guys, they're so beautiful. I'll have to show you. If I feel like vlogging tomorrow, I'll go out there and show you those. I think whenever I got out of the car, I counted there's like 6 on one of the bushes and about 5 on the other. And there were some little buds that were getting ready to open up. That's the most they've had all season. But roses love lots and lots of water. So all this rain has been really doing them good. So they look good. Bad thing is I haven't been able to go out there and enjoy them. Poor little Bub, he's been keeping my plants up on the porch watered for me because I haven't even felt like doing that. And I'd say, Bub, Mom's plants need some water. Can you handle it? Matter of fact, one day he just disappeared for a while. And I'm like, where did Bub go? She's like, I have no idea. And when he came in, he had just taken it on himself to get out there and make sure those plants stayed watered for me. So he's keeping them going up here on the porch too. Those petunias are looking really good. You guys remember whenever I had put in the fertilizer from the Dollar Tree and how a couple of the petunia plants looked like they were going to die? It looked like the fertilizer kind of burnt the roots. Well, they are doing great. They still look smaller than the other petunia plants, if that makes sense, but they're looking a lot more healthy now, and they never stopped blooming. Even though they looked like they were dying, they kept producing such beautiful blooms. So that was just a little weird. I don't know that I would trust those little fertilizer sticks from the Dollar Tree again. But then again, I don't know, maybe it wasn't that at all because we have the 2 urns, you guys have seen that, on each side of the entryway door. And I put the same amount of fertilizer sticks in each one and the very same pattern around the bottoms of those plants. And those were the only 2 plants that were affected. So maybe it wasn't the fertilizer sticks after all. I mean, maybe it was just a little bit of damage to the plant themselves. I'm not really sure because the other urn on the other side of the door, beautiful all the way through. They have just been beautiful and big and vibrant. And I have noticed they do produce a lot more of the petunia flowers than my plants in previous seasons. So it must have done a little something good. So I don't think I'm prepared to say it was the fertilizer sticks from Dollar Tree. I don't think so. I thought at first it might have been, but I don't think it was that. I think there was just something fluky with those plants. I don't know, but they pulled through. They're looking really good now. All right, Linda, y'all have a fun dance recital, a rehearsal. Have fun with that. It was so great to see you today. Oh, okay. Wow, I haven't heard all that going on up there in Chicago, but yeah, stay indoors where it is cool. That we had a couple of weeks ago, and I think I told all of you guys this, 11 kids from our local middle school, or one of the local middle schools here, 11 kids were rushed to the hospital with heat stroke because they were out in the heat. So nothing to play with, all that heat. Stay indoors where it's cool if you can. Oh, Kathy, I can totally understand that. I really can. Sometimes, no matter how strong you feel, you get overwhelmed with life and with things that are going on, and it can have that moment where it just that's all you can do is burst out in tears. But tears are a healthy thing, and they help relieve some of that stress. So cry when you need to cry and feel those emotions, because it really will, in an odd kind of way, it does help to rejuvenate you a little bit. And of course, I know that you are a woman of strong faith, and so you have God there with you too. So even on those moments where you feel like you're all alone, just remember you're not really all alone, and the Lord will strengthen you. It's in our weakness that he shines even stronger, and when his strength comes through, so he can help you be for your mom exactly what she needs you to be. But don't hesitate to lean on your cousin or anybody else that you may have right around there that can lend you support. And of course, all of us are here to support you. I know it's not the same because we're all so far away, and it's definitely not the same as having someone sitting there with you when you're going through something like this, but we're sending our love and prayers for sure to help strengthen you, because it can be very overwhelming, especially when you're watching someone you love suffer. That's even harder, I believe, than suffering yourself, is watching someone you love suffer. It's not an easy thing. Uh-oh. Well, what kind of plant is it, Cheryl? I don't know a lot about plants. I'm kind of learning a lot. I never have had a green thumb. I gotta be honest. Never have had much of a green thumb. I have had several different plants throughout the years, and learning. That's what I'm doing. Oh, wow, that is hot in Pennsylvania. You guys are hotter up there than we are down here. Oh, I don't even know what the temperature is today. All I know is it's a little muggy because it was rainy. When we were out earlier, the rain hadn't hit yet, so you could like feel the wetness in the air. Since we've gotten home, the rain started, but it wasn't overwhelmingly hot. Like, I would say probably in the mid 80s, if I had to guess, based on what it felt like when we were out there. Well, we love you, Kathy. Yes, we do. Oh, the petunias. Yeah, I just love petunias. I think they're probably, besides roses and petunias are my favorites. Love those. And I love orchids. I have two of those. You guys have seen those. We found one. I can't remember. It's been a while back. You guys were with us one day at Home Depot. We took you in the vlog, and I found one on sale for like $10. And then the Hubs bought me one for Mother's Day. Love them. I just absolutely... These are different, though. I did not realize that there are different families of orchids. So I need to research into that more. But when you look at those two orchid plants, the leaves are shaped differently, and the way the blooms come up are different. Now, the actual flowers themselves, you can obviously tell they're orchids because orchid is a very distinct look to it. But the way that the shoots are growing and the way the leaves are forming are completely different. So I got to looking at that one day whenever I was just laying on the couch with nothing else to do, feeling so bad. I was looking at those two petunia plants, or orchid plants, and I thought, ooh, I need to research that because it must be like maybe a slightly different family of the orchids. Lisa is here from Bradenton. Yeah, it's pouring here too. It's a little lull right now, but it's still very dark, so I'm sure it's coming back. Yeah, I know, Kathy. Sometimes it can be hard for people who aren't necessarily believers to understand when we talk about our faith, especially during times like these where times are hard or people are going through illnesses and things like that, because sometimes when they hear us talk about our faith or they hear us talk about God is able to heal and different things, but then they see us struggle through hard times, it's hard for them to process and understand that. But thing about a relationship with God is he doesn't promise that it's always going to be perfect. There's a lot of things that we still have to walk through because we live in a fallen world. You know, I mean, life still happens. And just because we come into a relationship with Jesus doesn't mean that that kind of life stops happening until we leave this earth. We're still going to experience the effects of a fallen world. The difference is how we're able to make it through with the Lord's help, with his peace, with his guidance, with his wisdom in the midst of situations and circumstances, and being able to still have an abiding joy. That doesn't always mean an outward show of happiness. There's a difference. I think people confuse that. It doesn't mean that you're going to have an outward show of happiness, but you're going to have a deep abiding joy that can give you peace even in those difficult situations. And that is the marked difference of how a believer can come through hard situations such as you're going through. And it can be a little challenging for people who don't have that kind of faith to understand that, or who maybe have felt like they have been failed by God in the past and haven't maybe understood why their prayers weren't answered the way they wanted them to be. And I think that's where the bottom line of that is. That's why the Bible says that without faith, it is impossible to please God. That faith is everything. It's trusting him even when there's no answer. It's trusting him in the midst of the worst of situations. It's still being able to trust him. And when we do, that pleases him, because we don't have to have all the answers to be able to just trust that he's got it. And no matter what his answer is, nothing can happen in our life that he doesn't allow for one reason or another. It can be to help us grow in ways that we will never grow unless we face hardship. It can be for other people's pain in the future. You know, whenever I always go back to the example of whenever I lost my first pregnancy to a miscarriage and how hard that was. And you would think, okay, you know, God, I love you and you're supposed to protect me from pain like this. I don't get this at all. Why didn't you stop this from happening? But now, all these years later, whenever I'm sitting there with a young girl who's just been married, her first pregnancy or whatever number of pregnancy it may be, and they're going through this terrible loss of miscarriage, that the pain that I walked through taught me how to help them in their pain, if that makes sense to you. So sometimes the pain and the trials that we walk through are not even really about us at all, but it's going to be about other people who will need our empathy in the future. And that's where we just have to trust. It's just that blind faith that just trusts God no matter what, to understand that he's got it. He's got it. If we're obeying him and listening to him and following him, then we can trust that he's got our best at heart. And that's hard. I mean, I'm not going to be naive to believe that that's easy, because it is tough. I mean, especially whenever you are in some of the most horrid of situations where you are begging God for miracles. You know, we've been there. And when God doesn't always come through in the ways that we want him to, it's not always easy to hold on to that kind of faith. But at the end of the day, that's where we just have to say, you know what? Our life is not designed by us. It's not created by us. And it's actually not even created for us, that we were created for him and for his pleasure and for relationship with him, and that we are just stewards of this life, of this body, of our time, of our resources, to do his bidding. And when we can finally grasp that, then we can have that peace and that joy even in the worst of situations. And it's hard for us as believers to understand that at times, but it's especially hard for those who maybe haven't come into a relationship with him yet, because it's like a foreign concept. You know what I mean? So be a little patient with her, Kathy. I know it can get frustrating, because she probably seems to get frustrated with you, but it's hard for her until she really grasps that kind of faith. It's going to probably be hard for her to listen to you have faith when she is seeing with the natural eye the circumstance that you're walking through, if that makes sense to you. So hang in there. I know it's hard. Hang in there. We're all praying and supporting you. Arlene, I don't know if I knew that, or if I did, I didn't recollect that, but about your son passing away 6 years ago. It's very hard to walk through things like this. Actually, Cheryl, I am an ordained minister. And I am a youth pastor at our church working with our teenagers. So that's what I do there. There is PB&J. Hello, and thanks for joining us on the live. We're just chatting. We're chatting about where we've been for the last little while, why the vlogs haven't been up. Trying to catch everybody up on what's been happening around the Rose household. But yeah, it can be very, very tough when you walk through situations like that, Arlene. And there aren't always answers, you know? It's, matter of fact, I saw where somebody had posted this week about somebody that they knew had passed away. I was reading on Facebook, and some of the responses that were coming were, I finally just had to make my own response to the post, because people try to say things when we're in the midst of situations like that I know they do their best. They really do, because words escape us in the most difficult of situations. Words totally escape us. But sometimes words aren't necessary. Sometimes what you need is just somebody to let you put your head on their shoulder and cry a while, you know? Sometimes what you need is somebody just to say, I get it. I get it. You know, you don't need, matter of fact, my daughter and I were talking this week. We had stopped at Burger King to eat, and this subject had come up. And I told her, I said, you know, sometimes you don't need another scripture verse. You don't need another sermon. When you're in the middle of your pain, you already know all those verses. You've heard all those sermons. For the most part, a lot of us have. And you don't need another sermon or somebody to quote another verse at you. Not that there's anything wrong with that, okay? Don't misinterpret what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, it's like, I know I need to have faith. I know I need to trust God. I know that He has me in His hand. But I don't want to hear that right now. I just want to hear you get me. You know what I mean? And I think that sometimes until we've been through things in our own lives, we don't always know how to do that. We don't always know how to be there for people the way that they need us to be there for them if we've not walked through something. You know what I mean? And even at that, I mean, don't get me wrong, because you could have somebody that has seemingly the most perfect life, no hardship, no loss, no pain, that if they're connected with God and the Holy Spirit can still work through them to minister to you, even though they have not been in your shoes. Okay, that can happen. But more often than not, what I see is a bunch of good-hearted people who want to give comfort during pain and who want to offer some kind of uplifting and encouraging word, that it just ends up coming out all wrong, and it can make the situation worse. Like for instance, if you're a young child and you lose a parent, I hear over and over again people say, oh honey, it's okay, God just needed your mommy in heaven. How does that process to a child who's thinking, how could God possibly need my mom worse than I do? And that is so far from true. That's not even scriptural to say that. God doesn't need any of us in heaven. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's statements like that, you know, or God needed another angel. And you're sitting here thinking, but why did He have to take my angel? You know what I mean? It's like we honestly do try our best in situations like that to offer the wisest words of comfort we can, but sometimes it just comes out all wrong unless we've been there and connect. You know, for the most part, whenever I know people are hurting and they're in a bad situation, I let them know, listen, you can come cry with me anytime. I know exactly how you feel. There's no words to make it better. Let's just cry together, because a lot of times that's really the best thing. That's really what you need, is just for people to get your pain. You know what I mean? So people do mean well. They really do. But sometimes their words hurt worse than if they just said nothing. I don't know, Sheena, where else sells those. I'll have to do a little research with you. I thought that Tattoo Junkie actually had a website that had them on there, but I'm not 100% positive on that. I'll have to do some research with you too. I know there for a while Walgreens had them, but I think they were just like a seasonal thing around Halloween time. I don't think it's something that they carry all the time, but I did have somebody comment that they had seen them in Walmart too. So I don't know if it's regional. I don't know, but I'll have to try to look into that with you too. Linda is here again. You know what, Arlene, aren't our children just wonderful? I tell you, they are such comforts in the time of pain. When I lost my grandma a couple of years ago, even at their young and tender ages, if it hadn't been for my husband and my kids, that would have been so rough of a time for me, because I was so close to her and it was so hard losing her. And even at the tender ages that my kids were at that time, their wisdom beyond, and being able to understand we were all grieving together. Of course, I think my grief was a little different than theirs because she had a different role in my life than what she did in theirs. And the comfort they give, there are times even now whenever life can get hard or overwhelming. Sometimes ministry is very hard, and giving and pouring into the lives of other people and their lives sometimes taking turns that it's hard to watch them take, and it gets very overwhelming at times. And the kids are such a great source of comfort and encouragement, and will listen and sometimes even cry with me, and I tell you, children are truly a blessing from the Lord. Just like the Bible says, they are a blessing from the Lord. So those of you who still have small kids, and it can be rough when you're a mom and the kids are little and they take everything out of you because they can't do much on their own, hang in there, because those kids grow up, and every investment that you put into them, every hour that you spend pouring into those little lives, one day it's going to come back. It's going to come back to you. And they're going to be able to offer you such comfort and peace and love, and it comes full circle. It really does. And so don't get frustrated. I know that being young moms can be overwhelming. I mean, there are days you don't even get to take a shower. Let's be honest. There were days I can remember when both of my kids were little, that the hubs was working and the kids were small and they couldn't be left alone because you didn't want them to hurt themselves, and it was hard to even find a minute to get to the bathroom. I mean, you know what I mean? Those of you that have had small kids, especially if you've had more than one, sometimes if you just have one, it's a little easier, but when you have two or more, it can be such a challenge. And there are days when they're little that you think, oh man, this is going to be my life forever, because you get so worn out and it can be overwhelming. But you hang in there, because as you're investing in those kids, what you pour into them, you're going to get back. And that's important to remember, because you can either pour healthy things into those little lives, and you can work past the frustrations of young motherhood, or you can pour bad things into those lives that you'll also get back. So it's important in what you're doing when the kids are little, but as they grow older, and it is just amazing to me. Sometimes I just sit back in amazement of my kids, and I tell them that all the time, and how proud I am of them. But what a rock they are for me sometimes. They really are. So those of you with little kids, hang in there. They're going to grow up, and they're going to be there for you. All right, let's see. I missed several comments here. What did I miss? Let's see. Yes, Sheena, that is true. She's telling you the truth. She is absolutely telling you the truth, and that's probably the best thing that you can do for her, is just let her cry and remember, and give her big loves, even through the phone, because it really does mean more than you know. Oh, well, thank you for those kind words, Nancy. I truly appreciate that. All right, Lisa, thanks for joining us. Hope you have a great night too. Well, I know how you feel, Kathy, and that is true. And I think sometimes, especially whenever it comes to loss, it's scary to pray those kind of prayers. It really is. It is scary to say, God, whatever your will is. You know what I mean? Because at 86 years old, and with everything that your mom's been through, It may be his will to heal her on this side of heaven, and it may be his will to use doctors to do that, to use the chemo to do that. He may give her just an outright miracle, but he may choose to let her go on home to be with him, you know? And I think that's probably the scariest prayer that any of us pray, is for God's will to truly be accomplished, because more often than not, you guys, his will is not what we would choose. It's just not. Let's be honest. Sometimes he takes us through situations and circumstances that we would never choose for ourselves, but that's because he sees everything. He was since the beginning of time. He's already in the future. God preempts time and space. He is everywhere all the time, and he sees the beginning, but he already sees the ending. And when we're sitting at the beginning of our life and God is already looking to the end, the grand finale at the end of our life, and he sees all of that, then he knows the situations that he allows to happen, whatever it may be, even if it includes losing someone. God ultimately knows the reasons why. You know what I mean? And so that's the scariest thing for us, but I think it shows great maturity in our faith when we come to that place that we can say, God, this is what I want, but nevertheless, not my will, but yours. You know, Jesus even had to learn that. If we think about it, when he was in the garden and he knew the cross and he knew what was coming and he knew the beating he would receive and he knew the trauma that he was about to face and he knew all of that, he still said in his humanity, being fully man in that moment, he still said to God the Father, you know what? I would really rather not have to do this, but nevertheless, it's not about my will. It's all about your will. And Jesus gave us that great example. And I think that as we grow in our faith, as we mature in our faith, I wouldn't say it becomes easier, because that is always a hard prayer to pray. It is a scary prayer to pray. But I think it becomes easier to make the decision to make that prayer, if that makes sense to you. Like, we don't hesitate quite as much muttering those words the more that we understand God's goodness in our life, and the more that we know, yeah, it may not have been the optimal way that I would have chosen things to happen, but God really does ultimately know best. He does. And I'll be praying that way with you, Kathy, too. And I know that that's not an easy prayer to pray. It is scary to pray. But God honors those kind of prayers, and he absolutely will make his will happen. Yeah, Linda, that is so true about the kids. They can just make you feel better. Yes, I agree with you on that wholeheartedly. Oh, Cheryl, that is so good to hear that your sons are there for you as they grow older and as they understand life more. And they do become such a rock in our lives. And that is awesome that you have that kind of relationship with them. Yeah, Sheena, I totally get you. I can remember there were times that my husband would come home, and he worked the midnight shift back then. And so he would be coming home, getting ready to lay down into bed. And I'd say, listen, can you please just give me 5 minutes? I just want a quick shower. If you'll give me 5 minutes to watch the kids before you lay down, because it can be hard to squeeze that time in there. So I remember those days very well. So you've gotten to be home with your kids now since the baby was born, huh? That's really fun. Well, thank you, Donna, and welcome. Glad you were able to catch us on here. I've missed all you guys too. Yeah, it is challenging whenever your kids have something like ADHD, for sure. That brings in a whole new challenge of its own. It really does. But I tell you, even in the midst of a situation like that, he's learning, and you're helping him learn even through the ADHD. And at some point, it's just gonna be smooth sailing, as far as it may always struggle with the ADHD, but at some point it's going to turn to where even through maybe the hyperactiveness of life or the inability to really stay focused, that he's still going to be able to be a rock for you. I truly believe that, because I see it happen around me all the time. And it does bring challenging days, though. It really does. So kudos to you for hanging in there. And we'll be praying with you on that too, because it can be tough. When you're raising a child who has any kind of special need like that, whether it's ADHD or autism or handicaps or anything like that, where there is a special need with your child, it drains you even more than what being a regular parent drains you. And that's why I think it is so important for support groups of parents like that to be able to come together that can say, listen, I know exactly what you're going through, and this is the kind of rough day I had, and to not be so afraid to talk about it. I think sometimes as young parents, even whenever I think we like to put on a face, if that makes sense to you. It's like we don't want to admit the really rough days or the really hard times, because I think in some ways it makes us feel like a failure, or at least it did for me. I mean, it's like to sit around and to try to talk about the days that you're having the roughest time as a young mom or overwhelmed with life situations. It makes you feel in some way like you're failing. And I think that's when we tend to hide it. And then we try to handle it all on our own. And that's not a healthy thing to do. It just is not. It can be overwhelming very fast. It can zap you very fast whenever you try to do that. And I think that supporting each other, that's why I love the MOPS program for mothers of real small preschoolers, and other programs that where women can come together, or men, because there's a lot of single dads out there too, where they need to be able to come together and support each other, even on those toughest, especially on the toughest days, without fear of being judged for the circumstance that may be happening. You know what I mean? Because I think it helps us up, because we've all been there, and just about all of us have had the same thoughts, the same feelings, the same experiences to a large degree, and we really can understand each other a whole lot more than we give each other credit for, and it makes it a little easier to bear. All right, let's see where I left off. I had several like all pop up at one time, so I think there might have been another little delay. Patricia, I can understand that. And especially in a situation like this, where it feels like maybe her ministry has been affected. And the best words of advice that I can give you in a situation like this, and something that may help her, is I can remember years ago, I was involved with a particular ministry in our church with the singing. And I felt like the Lord was asking me to step away from that. And I thought, but I don't want to, because I'm having a real good time with it. And I love music. You guys know that. Both of my kids are into music as well. My husband plays the trumpet, and we just, as a family, we love music. And when I felt like the Lord was asking me to step away from that, I could not understand. And I had to get to the point inside to where I said, but this is not my ministry. This is not my gifting. It is yours. And if you only gave it to me for a season, then I'm going to have to trust that. And so I did step away for a while, and it probably was about, I don't know, maybe 5 years before the Lord used me in that way again. But he taught me a lot in the process about not holding on to giftings or callings or ministry as though they're ours. And maybe you can encourage your daughter with that, because I know it's a very hard time, especially because the things that God gifts us for, the things that he calls us to do, we love. We have passion about it. We really do. I'm sure your daughter is passionate about this music, because when God births something inside of us and he creates us with that purpose, naturally there's a passion that comes with it. And I can remember for a period of time where we were kind of in limbo. I didn't really have a place to preach the word, and I knew that was what I was called and destined to do, and I knew that God had placed that gift inside of me. And I can remember I was having a conversation with both of my parents, and I kind of hit the table, and I said, I've got to do something, because just sitting on a church pew, there's so much in there that needs to come out, but there's no avenue to do it. You know what I mean? And even in the process of that, I think that God had me just sitting on a pew for a while with no open doors, because he had to make sure of what my motives were, and he had to make sure that I understood that at the end of the day, that the gift and the calling and the anointing that's on my life, it is not mine, and it's not about me. It's all about him. And so this situation that your daughter was in, obviously she hasn't chosen this, and it's a horrible situation. And maybe a great way to lend some comfort is just to remind her that, sweetheart, God placed this call there. God placed the gift inside there. And if he put the music in there, then it's going to be up to him when the music's released again. And help her to trust him in his timing. You know what I mean? And I'm sure you're already doing that. I'm sure that none of this is new. It's not new information for you. It just can be hard whenever you're the one in it, facing it every day and praying for the miracles and feeling like you're not getting them. But in God's timing, and if for some strange reason, let's just say that for some strange reason, she never sings again, her faith has to rest in the fact that even if he only used her for a season with her voice, he wants to use her for a lifetime in many other ways. And if she has put some of that to recording already, then the voice will never die. That's good. That's like a promise from heaven, because even though she may never record another song, what she has already recorded will never die, and that God can use it in many, many ways. And yeah, I know it could be frustrating. I mean, if I had to sit here today and face the fact that, okay, you know, my voice has been taken from me and I can never preach the word again, it wouldn't prevent me from maybe writing sermons that others could preach. It wouldn't prevent me from maybe writing books that others could read, which are in essence the sermon. And maybe that can be it for her. She needs to keep creating the music, keep creating the songs, to keep writing out of the depths of that belly, because as the Spirit flows through her and gives her some anointed words, whether she ever sings it or whether she doesn't, God is still going to be using her with that gifting. So encourage her that way. Encourage her that way, because I know it's rough. I mean, when you're facing the possibility of never doing what you know you're destined to do, that is hard. We just have to remember that we still love God more than we love ministry. And at the end of the day, we really weren't birthed for ministry. We were birthed for him, and ministry is a wonderful byproduct that he can use us in for a season. So hope that helps, and hope that can even help her, you know, hope that can even help her, because I know that's a rough time. And we're going to be praying with you. We'll be praying with you for the miracles, because God is still a miracle working God, and he can make it happen again. All right, let's see here where I left off. Oh, okay, so I see you had a little bit of trouble then when you were pregnant with him, Sheena. Well, thank the good Lord that you didn't lose him and that you were able to have that bundle of joy. Oh, well, that's good encouragement, Sheena. I'm glad that you shared that. Yeah, it does get a little easier. Oh, well, thank you for the kind words, Cheryl. And that is a blessing to have a good sister-in-law that you get along with. There is Francis, we were talking about you earlier. We had somebody else in here from the Bronx. Aren't you in the Bronx? I'm trying to remember for sure. I know you're in New York, but I think you're in the Bronx. So there is Francis. Yeah, I am a little sick. I'm getting a little better. Steve's not doing so well. The kids start their camp this coming Sunday, will be when they launch off for their first week. So they're excited about that and hoping they don't get it. But no, we just got home from taking the hubs today. He had an EKG done, a nebulizer, because they think he has severe bronchitis. And then they also did some chest x-rays just to be sure that there's nothing going on with his heart, since it's so hard to breathe. But I think that he's kind of caught this crud that I've had. So I think I'm on the upswing, though. I'm hoping. I mean, it's been pretty easy, okay, sitting here chatting with you guys, but this is the longest that I've been able to talk for about a week and a half, about 10 days there. So yeah, I think I'm on the upswing. Yeah, she is in the Bronx. I thought you were. There was somebody here from the Bronx, and then there was also somebody on here from Harlem, but I can't remember who that was. Bargain Beauty is here. Hello, hello. Starting to feel a little better. It's mostly now whenever I get up. Like I can sit up now a little bit easier. Obviously, I've been sitting with you guys for a little while, and it hasn't been too awful bad trying to talk to you guys, but it's when I stand up for any period of time, like even taking a shower, by the time I get out of the shower, I'm just like wiped. You know, I'm like, oh, nah, that just really did me in. But at least better than I was, because there for a while I couldn't get up at all. So thank the good Lord for that. Okay, so Linda's the one in Harlem. I can never remember for sure who's where. I'm so sorry, y'all. Hey Debbie, welcome. I just was telling everybody how sick we've been around here with the flu and kidney infection and bronchitis and all kinds of crud. So we have been under the weather, but the emails had all been coming, and direct messages on Instagram and on Facebook, because a lot of you guys have been worried because the vlogs just like stopped. I mean, just like there was nothing. And I thought about coming on and just like doing words, you know, just like typing out words where we've been, but I was just feeling so bad to even sit up long enough to try to do that. And then when I did feel a little better, I pumped out just a couple videos I could voice over for DeeVine DeeZine. So still haven't been over on the vlog channel, but I knew you guys were worried, so wanted to let you know we're okay, or we're getting okay anyway. No fun at all, you're right. Well, there is Liana. Hello, Liana. How are you? You're at work waiting on a client to come in. Well, thank you for stopping in for a minute. Hope you and your crew are doing well. Loved the video you did with your hubs and your little one doing that Dollar Tree haul. So cute. That was so adorable. Loved it. Well, thank you, Nira's mom. I appreciate that. Debbie. Nope, not yet. You would be with us, so there you go. There is Kelly. Hello, Kelly. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Hope you are doing much better than we have. So many people though have been sick. I've seen a couple of people on Facebook. They've been having their rounds too, so I guess just 'tis the season. I don't know. So strange. And then I also heard down in South Florida, there's like some new bug that mosquitoes are carrying that when they bite you, like it is like really like the worst flu ever. So whenever I first got sick, I text my mom and I said, I hope none of the mosquitoes made it this far up, because this is rough stuff. So anyway, we just had fun joking about it. Oh no, your son is sick with the flu too. Yeah, a lot of sickness is going around. So much. Well, I will keep your son in prayer too, because it is no fun. No fun. Well, hello, Juanita. How are you? Thank you very much for those prayers. We certainly appreciate them. How's my mom? My mom is actually doing very well, Linda. Thank you for asking. She is recuperating just fine. As a matter of fact, tomorrow will be 5 weeks. Can you guys believe it? 5 weeks already since her surgery. So she's got 1 more week before they want to just recheck everything and fully release her to normal activity again. But she is doing very, very well. Basically back to normal. And we're very, very thankful for that. But yeah, thank you for asking. All right, I think I've caught those up there now. Oh my word, have I already been on here with you guys 92 minutes? I must be feeling a little bit better. That is definitely the longest that I have talked in quite a while. Wow. Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Okay, let's see here. You filled you're missing with your Christmas 2016 vlogs. I think that all of those vlogs, yeah, those should still be on this channel because I didn't start the vlog channel until January. Might have been like the 3rd week of January, I think we started the vlog channel. And I think all the ones from this past Vlogmas, Vlogtober last year, and Vlogust of last year, they're all on this channel. And I think I have a playlist that may be called Day in the Life, or may even be called Vlogs. I'm not real sure. If you go to the playlist, though, it'll be one of those words there, and you'll be able to see all those old vlogs. You know what, Linda? I was going to get up today and restart on Transformation Tuesday as far as the videos are concerned. But then we ended up having to go up to the emergency care up there, and I just do not feel good enough to put makeup on and all that to record a video. So hopefully next Tuesday. hopefully next Tuesday we'll be back to those Transformation Tuesdays and working on all of our weight loss together. I'll tell you one of the channels that I like to watch her journey. You guys may already follow her, I'm not sure, but the channel name is Let's Get Fit. And Sandy and her sister Denise were doing it together, but Denise has kind of taken a little step back from YouTube for a while. She has younger kids who are still in school, and so her life is really busy. So she's not on there a whole lot anymore, but Sandy is. She does Weight Watchers, and she just vlogs every day, showing you what she's eating. She's telling you about her struggles or her successes. She weighs in every week and talks about her weekly meeting. So for those of you who like the weight loss thing and want somebody to watch their little journey, I enjoy her channel. I really do. So hop over there. If you subscribe to her, let her know I sent you her way. It's Let's Get Fit is the name. I think most of her videos will say like Sandy's daily update or something like that, Weight Watchers points or something like that. You'll know you're on the right channel. She and her sister, they used to be in the profile picture together. I'll remember to post the link in the description box of this video. Once it archives for you, you can go back on this video and find the link. But she is so funny. I think she's 65, I think is what she said. And she gets up and she walks just about every day working on her weight loss, but she's dropped quite a bit of weight. I think if I remember right, and I'm trying to remember because I've been watching them now about a year, I think she was a little over 300 pounds when she started, and then she dropped quite a bit of weight, but then I think she gained back like about 10 or 15 pounds, and then it just kind of, that yo-yo that we all get on, you know, we all do so good for a while, and then it's like we fluctuate between those same 5 or 10 pounds. So she's on a journey. She wants to get down in the 250s by, I think she said July, or by the end of the summer, I don't know. So she's working really hard, but I love to watch her channel. She uploads every night, every day except for Sunday she uploads. So if you guys like the little vlog type thing and the weight loss thing combined, I think you might like her. So check her out. She is fun. Francis can't be in front of the camera. Why not? I think you would do good. But I did notice you haven't made videos in a long time, even of your creations. All right, Kathy, it was good to have you, and we'll be praying for you. Pizza sounds good. I'm not a huge pizza eater, but once in a while, pizza sounds delicious. There is Malia. Thank you, Malia. I appreciate that. I'm not really sure, Sheena. We didn't hit our minimum. I needed to have a minimum order before I could actually place the shirts. So we're going to have to give refunds back to the few people who did order them. We'll have to give them their money back. And I'm not sure if we will have another chance in the future to put those on pre-order or not. So I'll definitely keep you guys posted on that. Well, it is a vulnerable place to be. The haters come out. They do. They talk about your eyebrows and your hair color and your nappy hair, and they do, that's for sure. So you have to go into it with the determination that you're confident in who you are and you put out the best quality of material that you can, and those who like it and want to be faithful will stay, and those who don't can move along. So it comes with the territory. It really does. So yeah, that's definitely something to consider before you jump out there and start making videos, because I have seen where several people start making the videos and I don't think they realize that element exists, and then they get really discouraged and they take it so personal. But basically, most of those people who are that mean and hateful anyway with their comments are people who are not confident in themselves. A lot of them have been tracked down to actually even be kids who shouldn't even be on the internet without adult supervision, that make these profiles, and they get so hateful with their words just trying to get at you that you just have to learn to ignore it. Hit delete and block. But yeah, definitely something to keep in mind before you start making the videos, because it could come, and so you just have to be aware. But yep, well, that's the best thing to do, Linda. And as he's ready to do it, and if he moves you in that direction, then he'll give you that confidence to do it. That is for sure. So anyway, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and jump off of here, you guys. I think you can hear my voice is getting a little more raspy, and so I'm about ready to just take another little break and sit back for a few minutes, and that's all you can do. The doctor said just rest, rest, rest. Don't push it. So I am going to be obedient and do that. Go check on the hubs. I can still hear him coughing out there, but I think he was trying to nap too. So anyway, thank you guys for your patience and for all the prayers, and thank you for all of you that have reached out wanting to make sure we're okay. That means a lot to me. Lets me know that we're all one big happy family and that you guys have been concerned. So thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. Thanks for joining me today, and hopefully you guys will see us on the vlogs again tomorrow. So much love to you all, and we'll catch you soon.